Hi, it's Lorraine again, and today I am reviewing the Invacare Bora wheelchair. As you can see, if you want to have a look around the wheelchair, you can see that this particular model has tilting space and also recline, and it has the angle adjustable legs. This model does have two sets of arms, one for getting on and off buses and soft ones for people like me who tick a lot and also might need a little bit of extra support. I have a swing away controller, and the Bora has 3 speed settings. If you come closer you can have a look at the settings here, and it basically has an indoor sort of medium range and then one that's just way too fast for me. You can get the Bora in a variety of speeds. So this Bora only goes up to 4 miles an hour, but you can actually get a 6 mile an hour Bora and you still get the 3 speed settings on it. It's Bluetooth control, so you can have the settings easily adjusted using in a mobility shop using the settings adjustment. I use a side support here. That's because for some inexplicable reason I have quite bad diaphragmatic muscles and muscles on the right hand side of my body where I get a lot of spasms as well, and I do need the extra support, and I find that that's really helpful. The great thing about the modulite version of any Invacare chair is that because of the seating system and this sort of like stacking rack, you can basically put any kind of additions that you want to onto it. That will include, like, you know, mobile phone holders and all kinds of things, but you can also, it's like massively adjustable. As you can see, the arms can go forward or back. You can, as I say, I've got 2 pairs of arms for this, so you can change the arms. You can have any kind of backrest. I've had sat in this before. This one is no, Passard. I've had, this one is can't remember, Laguna I think, or something, I'm not sure. You can have handlebars if you prefer handlebars. My son sometimes quite enjoys holding onto those, or you can have just poles like I have. On the back of my wheelchair I have the Mia 2E backpack, which is a great backpack for, well, actually all their products are really incredibly wheelchair friendly. I'm not doing an advert, by the way. And I got my water bottle there on one side, my umbrella, which I pretty much need in this weather. And I'm gonna review this chair in one of my favourite settings. So if you have a look, come with me, you'll see that I am in, have a look round and you will see that I am in a nature reserve, and it is a nature reserve where I live opposite it. So this is a fantastic place to review your wheelchair. Okay, I'm going to say from the outset that I am not going to give this wheelchair 100% thumbs up for lots of reasons, but let's have a look at what it can do. So follow me and let's have a look. So as you can see, this is short and very dry grass, and the Bora will be fine on short grass, a few bumps. And you can see the suspension holds up quite nicely. In this nature reserve, I have here, John, do you want to show the people? I have here this kind of boardwalk, so as I go along this, perhaps if John, you don't mind filming the wheels and then up to my body, and then just to show kind of like how much stability I've got. So again, the Bora is a fairly soft ride. For someone that really needs their body to be cushioned or cradled, it's an incredibly good ride, but it does have weaknesses even in the suspension. To some degree, the suspension itself can actually feel a little bit challenging at times. If you stay there, John, I'll come round to you. So you can see that my body kind of bobbles up and down, and there's a jerkiness in the ride. And I would say that there's a jerkiness in the suspension on the Bora, and there's a jerkiness in the ride. Also, a lot of people have noted, because this is basically the same as the Invacare Spectra XTR, and if you look down at the casters, I would say this is a weakness of a Bora. This is kind of lazy. This is kind of lazy engineering here. So these casters, they will get kind of, let's just look at them again, they will get kind of stuck on obstacles because they actually, there's a couple of things about these casters that are not good. They're a bit too small, so if you really want to be, you know, out in nature, let's have another look at this beautiful place that you could potentially be coming to. If you want to be out in nature like I often am, I think you will be looking at upgrading to something like the Kite, really, because you're going to need kind of heavier casters. They say that it's a great indoor chair, but again, the front casters will let you down. There's something about the distance between the back wheels and the front casters and the way that it all sits. Those casters are frequently stuck, and I feel scared of using this chair sometimes without my husband, because I know that I need him to turn the casters round to basically get on and off buses, for example. I'm not confident about this chair on and off buses. There's a couple of other faults, but for now, let's again look at the kind of things you can do with a Bora. So I'm going to go through some long grass. And if you look at this long grass, you'll also see that we've got quite a few rabbit holes here. Can you see that? Focusing on that rabbit holes. So this is not great. So it can do a bit of dry long grass, and if you just saw there, I got thrown around fairly savagely there at one point. All right, so it will do a little bit. Can you see how much I'm being thrown away? John, if you stay there, I'll drive away from you so that people can see, and then I'll come back. All right, so you stay there. Again, my casters are getting stuck here. Classic example of what I'm saying. I'm actually stuck. Ah! So annoying! Okay, so again, I'm coming back to you, and you can see that my body's being thrown about a bit. Okay, come here. So the suspension in that regard is good because it's, you know, it's fully active. But if you guys have ever seen my reviews, for example, of the a normal wheelchair with Alba wheel attachments, for example, or the review of the Esprit, it doesn't throw you around in that way. The Esprit will actually bend with your body, and so if you really want an off-road experience, the Bora, it's not really for everyone, because all right, I just got myself out of a situation there, and as you know, because I have a kind of a movement disorder, I can physically move my body and sort of jerk the wheelchair out of a difficult situation. But if you're really someone who's going to be relying on this, and you have really poor upper body strength, or you don't have like intermittent levels of energy, I think you're going to struggle with the Bora. I think you are going to struggle with the Bora. So I'm going to chat a little bit more. Come on, come to me. Unless you're going up to 6 miles an hour, 3 settings on this is pretty pointless, because as you'll probably notice, at the higher setting, this higher setting basically means, can you walk slightly in front of me, or is that not physically possible? Yeah, thanks. This higher setting means that basically the chair, to some degree, is over responsive. Yeah, so you know what I mean, it's jerky. It doesn't have great control, so unless you're going to be using like a 6 mile an hour setting, you might not want to, you don't take much advantage of that. What else can I say? Positive points is it's got a fairly good turning circle. You know, I mean, for a real world drive, it's not too bad. I don't find the turning circle as good as an Esprit, but as I say, you've got tons of modulite, you know, kind of adaptations that you can make using it. So basically, I'm going to summarise now. This is a below average functioning chair, I would have to say. Also, as you can see, it has a curb climber, and I would like to say that basically the modern Bora doesn't really ever get advertised as being able to have a curb climber, and one of the reasons is it's virtually useless. You would have to climb such a large curb for it to actually hit the curb that the casters, you know, couldn't do. And then the casters on the back of the, if you look at the back of the chair, you'll see it has anti-tippers on the back, and before you would actually be able to use the curb climber on the front, those casters on the back will actually hit the floor. So that's a pretty useless add-on to go for. So if you do buy this, don't do what I did and get an additional curb climber on the back. If you need, come a bit closer. I don't like shouting, you see. If you need a lot of support if you need side supports. If you need a good headrest, I often use a complete wraparound on this for severe tics. Then this is a really good chair to go for. If you are going to be using the indoor setting a lot and you're really sure that you don't want to go for an indoor chair, this would be a great chair to use. I am going to talk about indoor chairs, and I'm going to do a review of the Invacare modulite version of the Pronto as well. So you know, you might want to weigh up if this is the kind of chair you want. If you're thinking about getting this because the NHS are offering it to you, and you live in a city and you're not likely to want to go to a beautiful nature reserve such as this one, then this is a great chair to take. You know, it really is a good all-rounder, and it's great and it's comfortable and it's massively supportive. So I'm going to just drive off now, and you know, John, at any point that you think you need to watch me drive off for a bit, and then if you want to just stop the video when and if you want to, that's fine. So thanks for listening, guys, and